Hey there everybody, Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, Fall Classic Baseball, and this is my Oakland Athletics replay, and it's going great. Stats are amazingly accurate, and just the gameplay is super easy and just smooth to play, intuitive, and there's barely any chart lookups whatsoever, and you'll see that. Now we're in the fourth inning here in a game that really gives the A's a big advantage because it pits Mike Norris, their ace, against Paul Mirabella, who really did not have a good season, had almost a 1.7 WHIP, and his record was 5-12 for the Toronto Blue Jays, who were really terrible. So right now there are 2 outs. So Mirabella got the first 2 batters out, Murphy and Essien on grounders, but then it was a hit by Armas, a hit by Newman, and a walk to Heath. Bases are loaded for Dave McKay, a switch hitter who's going to bat from the right side. This is my plan. I really want the A's to face some tough pitching, so I'm not going to pussyfoot around and just bring in a bunch of, scrubs. It's a close game, so I'm going to bring up the best of the best, Jerry Garvin. If McKay gets a hit or gets on base, we're going to bring in Jerry Garvin to get us out of trouble, and then we'll worry about the later innings later on. But we definitely want to keep this game close for the Blue Jays. This is the second game of a doubleheader. The A's won the first game 4-1. Keogh got the win 13-5. Jefferson took the loss 5-5 in that game. Here's the pitch from Paul Mirabella, who is on the ropes here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth in a 0-0 tie game. Dave McKay, here's the pitch, and that's a 66. That right off the bat is a drive, and that's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Armas comes in. Newman comes in. And let's see Heath. Now, Heath, let's see what kind of speed he has. You see that? Well, this is really more on runs scored, based on runs scored. He's an F, so we're going to pull a card. And this is what it's going to say. On a double, first to home, F, he scores. So F advances and scores. And he is an F. So he will score. So that's a bases clearing double for Dave McKay, and that will be it. 3 RBIs. He picks 4, 5, and 6. Those are the guys he drives in. And it's going to be Jeff Cox. And we're going to bring in Garvin to try to keep this as close as we can. Jerry Garvin's coming in. And let's see we're going to roll to see what kind of stuff he has. And he has his A stuff. All right, just what the doctor ordered for the Blue Jays. Jeff Cox. And here's the pitch with 2 outs and a runner on second. And that's another 66, and 17 is going to be a base hit single, and will McKay score? Let's see his running ability. It's an S. So second to home with 2 outs. There's an assist. So we're going to play an assist on the left fielder. That is Woods, and he has an assist rating of 1-3. So we roll 1-3. He is out, and the play at the plate, and he is safe under the tag. 4th run of the game is 4-0 Athletics. RBI single for Cox. Picks up an RBI. I put him in a circle like that. All right, so runner on first. That's 4 runs in here for the Athletics in the bottom of the 4th. Billy Ball A's. Here's Rob Pichula. That's a 53. That's going to be a range check. First we check for the KD, and KD for Garvin under the A is 1-4. This is too high. The 10 is too high. So we're going to roll again for the range check, and that's going to be a 6. That's almost guaranteed to be caught. Low numbers get caught usually. And the range check is a third baseman. Third baseman, who's playing third base in the second game of doubleheader? And that's a guy named Garth Org, and his range is a 12, so he gets that easily. Throws a first and in time to get Pichula. But the A's pick up 4 big runs on 4 hits. And everything after 2 were out. It's 4-0 A's going to the top of the 5th inning. So this is a game that I must highly recommend. It comes with all the players. It's super easy to play. Once you memorize the out chart, the quick outs chart, it's a breeze. And here's Damaso Garcia against our ace, Mike Norris, who's who's got, I think, in the replay. Let me just take a quick peek at how he's doing. I'll give you some stats when we start, when the A's come to bat. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Line out 3 and then line out. I just want to take a look quickly at Norris. Norris has an ERA of 2.40. In reality, I believe his ERA was 2.42. That's how close. And ERA, you know, is very hard to control, but his whip in the replay, look at his whip in reality, right? Let's look at that. The whip in reality is 1.05. His whip in the replay is 1.07. That's how close and accurate this game is. All right. Here's the Damaso Garcia pitch from Norris. That's going to be a 56. Well, I know that that's a strikeout number, and it will be a swing and a miss by Garcia. Damaso Garcia swings and misses. And Mike Norris, I think he had a screwball. He had a weird pitch that he threw a lot, and it was just like a curveball, but it looked like a curveball, but they called it a screwball, I believe. So here's Doug Alt. I don't know if you remember him. He had 144 bats. And that's a 32. A 32 is a blank. And on Norris, it's going to be an out. That's an 18. That's an 8. So that's a fly out to center field. There is Murphy, and he squeezes it for out number 2. So easy pickings. Easy innings so far. 5 outs in a row for Norris. And here's Garth Ork. That's a 14, which will be an out. And 16 is grounded to the shortstop, Piccolo, and he throws out Ork, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, none left. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Excuse me, and here's Ricky Henderson. He's leading off. He's 0 for 2 today. He fouled out, and he flied out. A lot of foul outs here in Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. That's a 26, and against a lefty, Garvin is a lefty, and that's going to be a base hit. So he rips one past the third baseman into left, and he's on at first. He leads the league in stolen bases, and so he's basically doing what Ricky does. He's not going to be running in this instance. Here's a pitch to Dwayne Murphy. That's a 66, and that's going to be a drive. That's going to be down the line into the corner. And let's see if Ricky will score on that. 1 to home. He does score. Let's turn the cards around. I think I have them upside. Wait, some of these cards are upside down. That's bugging me. Okay. So that's an RBI double, and it's 5-0 now, A's. All right, Jim Essien. The pitch, 65. That's a pitcher home run number. Garvin is an A. His number on home runs is 1 to 5. That's pretty low. Plus, Essien has a -1, so it makes it 1 to 4. Let's see what we rolled. Oh, and that's a deep drive off the bat of Essien, way back to left field. Back goes the left fielder Woods. Looks up, out of here. 6-0 Athletics. Actually, it's 7-0 Athletics. A 2-run home run for Jim Essien. Wow. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at this point, there's no reason to keep Garvin in. He's really... So now we're going to bring in some scrubs, and you may see some... We're going to bring in... let's see who we got here. That's going to be it for Garvin. Did not do the trick. It did not turn out the way we had hoped for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays just had a terrible... The Blue Jays, they just had a terrible, terrible team. And Mike Barlow is going to be called in. So Mike Barlow's coming in. And we're going to see what he's going to be here. Let's roll from Barlow, and he is going to be a B pitcher. All right, he will face Armas. It is 7-0. here in the bottom of the 5th, Athletics. So it looks like they're going to sweep the doubleheader. Here's a pitch, and that's a snake eyes, which will be a 1-8 as a single. Otherwise, it's bounce to the second baseman. Up with it is Garcia and throws out Armas. Next is Newman. Here's the pitch to Newman with a 16, and that's a swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes. Nice curveball by Barlow. And some strikeouts are on the pitcher card. Other strikeouts are automatically on the batter card. It all depends. That's a 24. And that is a line drive into the outfield. That's center field right there. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. So 3 runs on 3 hits, and the A's have taken a 7-0 lead. We go to the top of the 6th. Playing Fall Classic Baseball. And Mike Norris dominating. Here's Bob Davis. That's a 12, and that will be a ground ball to short. 1 down. All right. It's going to be Alfredo Griffin leading it off. He's 1 for 2 today, and that's going to be a 55, and that's ripped to left center field and played nicely by the center fielder, Murphy. They're going to hold Griffin to a single, and that's a single plus, so he's not going to be stealing here. He's 7 runs down, so I'm the commissioner. I override that. So here's 1 out, and Woods. Here's the pitch from Norris with a 32. That's a blank on Norris. That's going to be an out. The 11 says, it says it's going to be 2, and that's a little nubber in front of the plate, and the runner, and that's going to be the first base. So a 2-3, moving the runner Griffin to second. And here's Mayberry, Big John Mayberry, 64. That's it's going to be bounced to the first baseman, and that retires the side. So 1 hit, one left on base, no runs, and we move to the bottom of the 6th. Oh, can't really see that. Sorry about that. Let me get that in view there a little bit better. There we go. Let me get this a little bit farther up to get a better view for you. There you go. All right, I think we got it in view there. Okay. Let's see. So it's Dave McKay. McKay is 1 for 2 today. Let's look at some stats for the Athletics. Let me get through the top of the 3rd real quick here, and then we'll look at the stats. 1-3. I have 3, and then top of the order. A single and a caught stealing. All right, let's look at some. So who's up? Dave McKay is up, and his stats. McKay's batting .259. McKay in reality batted .244. All right, and that's a 51. That's going to be an error check, but first you check the KD on the pitcher. Barlow's KD is 1-2. That's way too high. For 1-2, it'd be a strikeout. So now I roll a second time, and that's a 20. So it was an error check. So that is definitely not going to be an error. I just don't see that happening. I'll check the 51. Oh, that's the pitcher. That could be an error. The pitcher's error rating is an 18. Oh, and we just missed that. So he does bobble it for a second. He fires it to first and just gets McKay. So it was almost an error. Here is Jeff Cox. Cox is batting .246. In reality, he batted .213, but he was at 300. He doesn't play much. He just started playing, so he's 1 for 2 in today's game. And a 23 will be a strikeout. So I got some players that are really just don't play that much, so their batting averages are very, very high or very, very low, kind of like what happened in 2020. So here's Rob Pichula with 2 outs. Mike Barlow, 52. That's going to be a check. Oh, that time is a KD. That time, because that first roll I used for a KD, and he's a B, and that's a strikeout, and that'll end the inning. So we don't even have to check for the error on that. So 3 up, 3 down for Barlow. And he can go 9. He's retired 6 so far. All right, and we'll push him, see how far we can take him. It's going to be Barry Bonnell versus Norris. Expecting Norris to go a complete game here. That's a range check, and that's also a KD check, but that's too high. I know that automatically. And that range, let's see who the range check is to. It's to second baseman 9. He may get to it. Who's this? Our second baseman is Cox. Cox's range at second base is a 17, so he dives for that ball, gets back up on his feet, fires at the first in time to get Barry Bonnell. I don't know if you remember Barry Bonnell. Here's Lloyd Mosby. He had 400 bats, batted 229, hit 9 home runs. He's a lefty hitter. Here's a pitch from Norris, a 14, will be an out. That 10 is a line out to center field. Murphy did not have to move much to catch that line out. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 7-0 Athletics playing Fall Classic Baseball. $20 for a PDF, about $60 for a printed set. This is a real fun game. Plays very smooth. And you know, when I play a game, I don't look for my game to be a different game. I don't say, well, my old game has this, and where's that in this game? You know, I don't do that. Just, hey, I think about baseball. Does it have everything I expect in a baseball game? And this game certainly does. This is a 16, and that's a fly ball in the gap left center field. On the run is Henderson, and he comes up with it with a nice running catch. No runs, no hits. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. Please get to those concessions because they're going to shut down. You want to get that last brewski. Get me one. All right, Henderson, Murphy, and Essien. I remember I used to go to Met games over at Citi Field, and on the way there, I'd ride the bus from my house. It was about 2 miles away, and I'd stop on 88th Street, Northern Boulevard, and pick up my White Castle. Take 4 or 5 White Castle into the game with me, and I'd sit there and munch away at my White Castle. The Belly Bombers, man. Oh, man, I'm addicted to those. Holy smokes. It's worth living a little bit less and enjoying those White Castles. All right, here's Ricky Henderson against, Barlow's still in there. Barlow's done a heck of a job since coming in for Garvin. He's retired 6 in a row. Here's a pitch, and that is going to be a 53. Again, that's a range check. We're rolling that a lot. That's way too high, and for the KD, we're going to roll a 7. So let's see. Range check is to the second baseman, and we know that, again, a nice diving play. Oh, no, this is Damaso Garcia this time. And he is a 12, so he will make that play. Nice play by both second basemen. Each of them made an outstanding play at second base. Here's Dwayne Murphy, who's 1 for 3. His stats. He's a 274 hitter. In the replay, he's batting 269. Again. So, all right. He's a 12, and that's ball 4. Ball 4. Now, you know that they're Billy Ball A's. They're up 7-0. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. He doesn't run. And 4, 5, 6 he does run because it says to run. But I'm questioning whether in 1980 they would run 7 runs up here in late in the innings, late in the game. 1, 2, 3 he doesn't run. 4, 5, 6 he does run. So he is going to run. And he's going to be out at second base. He gets thrown out. 2-4. So there's 2 outs, and here is Jim Essien. Essien has a 2-run homer, a walk, and grounded out. That's a 56. That should be a strikeout, and it is. So no runs, no hits, no men left, and we move to the top of the 8th inning. And they're saying something. Manager over there in the Toronto Blue Jay dugout is saying something about that attempted steal. I don't know. They're jawing back and forth with Dwayne Murphy. I knew that was going to be an issue here. Doug Alt is up here against Norris. Norris pitching a hell of a game. He's given up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, he's pitched a perfect game in this season. I still have it. That's a 22, and that is going to be a fly ball in the gap to right center field. On the run is Armas, and Armas got a good jump on that ball and runs it down. So we've seen a couple of good plays by the Oakland Athletics outfielders. Here's Garth Org with a 64, and a 64 is an out. And it's a 9, another pop-up shallow right field racing in his Armas, and he gets there. And here's Bob Davis. Gonna let him bat. And a 14, that's a Grounder to short. Up with it is Piccolo, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Easy inning for Mike Norris, and Mike Norris is pitching a heck of a masterpiece here. All right, so in the top of the 9th for the Blue Jays is going to be the top of the order. Right here is going to be Tony Armas. There's a pitch, and Armas is batted .279, and in the replay, Armas is batting .263. And he's going to make an out here, and that's bounced to the second baseman. Damaso Garcia throws him out. Here's Jeff Newman. Jeff Newman batted .233, and he is batting .275. So he's one that's batting a little bit higher. He doesn't play much, but now towards the second half of the season, he's going to play a lot. So I expect his batting average to level off and be closer to where, I expect to be between 10 to 15 to 20 points around your batting average. Like, I don't want my 220 hitters batting .320, and I don't want my 320 hitters batting .220. I understand it's not going to be an exact science because of just the dice, the nature of dice. So let's see it. Let's see what happens here to Newman. That's a 36, and that's a blank there. And for Barlow, that will be a ground ball to the shortstop. He is a ground ball pitcher, so that gets taken into effect as well. So he's faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the next batter that he allows to reach, he will get pulled. All right, here's Mike Heath with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Hopefully we don't have to pull him, and we will have to pull him because this is hit up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. We will bring in somebody else. So Heath, let's look at Heath. Heath batted .243, and in our replay, Heath is batting .238. All right, so let's see who we already brought in Cusack. We're going to bring in a guy named Cusack. There he is, Jack Cusack. Not a very good pitcher at all, but he did have 11 appearances in 1980. So we're going to bring Cusack. We're going to roll for him and see what he's going to be, what kind of stuff he has, and that's going to be C stuff. All right, so it's going to be Dave McKay with 2 outs, 1 on. Here's a pitch from Cusack, and it's a 61. That's a blank, and it's a strikeout to end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we go to the top of the 9th for Mike Norris. So let's enjoy this top of the 9th, and we're headed towards, we're 3 outs away from a complete game shutout, which is like in modern day baseball, that's like a perfect game or a no-hitter almost. You don't see those anymore. Complete game shutout. He's going to face Alfredo Griffin, a switch hitter batting from the left side. Woods a lefty, and then John Mayberry a lefty. So 3 lefties here in the top of the 9th, and Norris has plenty of stamina. He can go 36. He's only gone 27 so far. So he's really been dominant pretty much. And here goes Alfredo Griffin. If, let's see, hold on a second, let me get, so at the bottom of the 3rd, it was 4, 5, okay. There's a foul out to 3 there. Okay, so Norris is 12-7, so if he wins this one, he'll go to 13-7. And his whip right now is almost identical to what it was. It is identical. It was 107, I believe, in 1980, and he's pitching at a 107 right now. Actually, yep, it goes. That's a 15 on Griffin. That's an out. That 9 is in the air to right. And Arma settles under it and squeezes it for out number 1. So 2 outs away. Here's Al Woods. Al Woods is 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch. And that's a 54. That's going to be a 54 chart, which is like a wild pitch, an unusual play chart. That's a fly ball to right. Now we're going to check the error rating of the right fielder. That's a 4. Now that could be an Armas error, and it is going to be an Armas error. And we're going to check the exotic error chart because of, just because that's what it tells us to do. So we're going to check the exotic error chart. And exotic error chart on a... We're going to have to roll this one again to 20, and it's going to be an 8. And that is going to say exotic error chart. Roll the 20 again. A drop fly ball batted to second. All right. So it's a 2-base error on the right fielder Tony Armas. E9. E9 there. And a runner. And Woods is on his second base. So this is going to prolong the inevitable. And here is John Mayberry. Here's a pitch, and that's a 62, which should be a strikeout. Oh, he's actually an A pitcher now because he's got a shutout. So a 62 is a strikeout. So Norris is a 1 out away from a complete game victory shutout. Barry Bonnell. This is the second game of a doubleheader. The A's won the first one 4-1. Keogh got the win. He's 13-5. Jefferson took the loss 5-5. And runner on second base, Woods with 2 outs. Barry Bonnell, who's 1 for 3 actually. He doubled in the second inning. All right, so Norris checks in with the sign with Essien, the catcher, and sets and deals. And that is a 12, which is a fly ball in the gap into right center field. Armas got a beat on this one. He makes the catch, and that ball game is over. So the A's take the doubleheader. They've been on a hot streak, man. Holy smokes. And its final score is 7-0. The hits, he gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, a 4-hitter. 4-hit shutout. No errors, 1 error there for the A's. The A's had 8 hits. So the A's had 8 hits, and but scored 7 runs. And the Blue Jays, who were just a terrible team in 1980, had only 4 hits. And I believe this game was played on what day? Because if it's a Sunday doubleheader, you know that's it. They're out of town. I don't know if it is or not. Let me just check. No, it's a Tuesday doubleheader. It's a Tuesday doubleheader. So they may still play the Blue Jays on Wednesday. I'll have to check. But the A's win it. And like I said, Norris goes to 13-7, improves his record to 13-7 on the season. His ERA goes below 2.40. I'll have to input all the stats. I have a stat keeper, my PC replay baseball game here to my right. Keeps all the stats for me. So once I input all it'll give me the exact numbers. And in terms of hitting for the A's, let me just see if anybody had a real standout day. Well, 1 for 3 here. For Essien, he had 2 RBIs and hit a home run. And there was nobody that really got more than 1 hit in this game. But the big hit was that home run. Well, I mean, you could say the big hit really was Dave McKay's 3-run double because it was 0-0 at that point. So he went 1 for 4 with a run scored. He had 3 RBIs. He hit that double. So I guess he would be the one who qualifies to be the hitting or the offensive MVP of the game, Dave McKay. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Now the A's improved their record to 53 and 42. The A's record, while the Blue Jays dropped to 31 and 59. The A's are in 3rd place, right behind the White Sox, and leading the West is the Kansas City Royals. You know, using the replay engine, so I have stats for everybody, and I have home runs for everybody, and I have leaderboards for everybody, and that makes the whole. I'm approaching my 4-month point in the season, which is outstanding. I'll have 2 months left. I'm really excited about finishing this replay and having those stats. And they're looking really, really good, so I'm really pumped up and enthusiastic about this. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon with more Fall Classics.